Welcome to In Conversation with MANWAR podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Do Not Be a Bystander campaign. You can join us in raising awareness about bullying by visiting the donotbeabystander.com, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay informed about upcoming episodes. Today's participants are Shanza, Afsa, and Faiza. Our special guest for today's episode is Carrie Rook.
I'm your host, MANWAR Khan. Today, I'm joined by three young individuals who are ready to share their thoughts and insights on the topic of cyberbullying. They all have the same goal: eliminating cyberbullying in school and in communities. These young individuals are passionate and addressing the issue of bullying and willing to empower others. And that's why you see them here today. Today's participants are Shanza, Afsa, and Faiza.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Thank you guys for joining us today. Before we continue, I'd like to introduce you guys with our special guest for today's podcast, Carrie Rook. I want to say a little bit about Carrie here. Carrie was born in Smoky Lake, Alberta, moved to Edmonton when she was 5. She grew up on the north side of the city, Edmonton. Carrie graduated from Grand McQueen with a management studies diploma. She has been married to Kevin Rook since July 1988 and still live in North Edmonton with their lovely dog Zoe. Carrie has been a valuable employee of Government of Alberta for an impressive span of 37 years. Currently, she holds a position of Associate Director in Technology and Innovation Ministry. Today, Kerry will shed some light on cyberbullying and give some tips and advice to our participants and viewers. Thank you so much, Kerry, for joining us today. I really appreciate that, and I know how busy you are, and I believe that you are even working today. So,
I am. So hi everybody.
thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, now that we have introduced our participants and guests, let's get started with our question. Cyberbullying can have a significant negative impact on person's mental health. So my first question is to Afsa. Def-
Yes.
can you define cyberbullying with some example? And how does it affect a person's mental health?
Yes. So cyberbullying is basically bullying someone through the through the help of electronic devices, for example, on social media. And there are a lot of different types of cyberbullying. For example, posting someone's embarrassing picture online, or spreading rumors about them, or commenting nasty stuff under their posts. Well, all of these are equally harmful, and I think this can affect our mental health very badly, because nowadays a lot of us like to depend on social media. So this may cause a lot of people depression, anxiety, self-esteem, and this will eventually make them lose the confidence in themselves.
Excellent. Thank you for the answer, Afza. I mean, cyberbullying actually can have a profound impact on person mental health. I totally agree with you, often leading to an emotional distress. Excellent. Thank you so much. So, my next question is for Faiza. Bystanders play a vital role preventing the effects of cyberbullying. So, my question for you is, how can bystanders intervene or support someone who is being cyberbullied?
Okay, well, social media is a place where anyone and everyone can make all sorts of comments. And we often find people being targeted online. Thankfully, these social media platforms have certain features, certain safety features, such as report options and block options. So, if we ever come across someone who is being cyberbullied, What we can do is just press the report button. Thankfully, we can just press the report button and restrict them from making such comments.
Excellent. That's a good point. And when it comes to cyberbullying, I think this would be the first thing you need to report that, and let maybe some of your close friends know that, be careful that this person has been spreading this, and just don't share anything on your Facebook. Also, there are some features that we can use for ourselves to make sure that maybe some of our pictures are not should not be public, right? So you need to understand what is private and public here as well when you are using social media, which is actually anybody can see. Even people can locate where I am right now, right? Using the social media. Excellent, great answer. Thank you so much, Faisal. And that is important. My question was related to cyberbullying bystander piece. And bystander, I always I say, bystanders have the power to make a difference by supporting and standing up against bullying. It could be all different ways, and you just gave a couple examples. Excellent. So the next question goes to Shanza. School plays um, crucial role addressing preventing cyberbullying. Shanza. So can you tell me what roles you think and school can play in addressing and preventing cyberbullying?
So first of all, I think that usually people don't take cyberbullying as bullying, or they don't really take any actions or address it. So I think teachers should really open up about it, and explain what social media actually is and what danger it can do. And they should also explain what cyberbullying can do to someone, as they might go onto depression. And one, if cyberbullying goes too far, then some people may take the action of suicide.
Yep. So basically, what you're saying then, sorry, are you done?
Yes.
So basically, what are you are saying is, it's educating people, educating the kids. It's not only teaching the math and all these kind of thing, or maybe putting aside some time and talk about these effects of cyberbullying, and this can affect or impact them, and also let them know that, how they should act accordingly, right?
Yeah.
And report that to school, because every school has a person that, and there is a representative from EPS, Edmonton Police Services, and they can let them know, and they can also let the trustee know. They can go to the principal, they can go to the assistant principal. First of all, I would say anything happens to anybody's life, the first advice we would be giving is to talk to your parents, or talk to a person or adults who you trust, and then go from there. But
Yeah.
school authorities should know right away, right?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
That's
Sanza.
true. Welcome.
So, with the completion of the questioning, we will now move on to the final segment of our podcast. Now, I would like to invite our special guest, Kerry, to share her thoughts on bullying and give some advice to our participants and our viewers.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to say to you three young ladies, you're all very beautiful and you're all very courageous for coming out and doing something like this, because it's tough in society to point, and say to people, you shouldn't be doing that. So the one thing, and I love what Manwar said with regards to tell someone, and it doesn't have to be an adult, it can be a friend, it can be your sister, it can be your auntie. It's a different world because everybody's on social media. And the other thing is, people can't take their words back. Once they've said it, it's like toothpaste. Once you get it out of the jar or out of the container, it's out and it's out there in the world. So what I would also recommend is block people. It's okay to block people. It's okay to not, delete them as a friend, or if that's what they're doing, block them. But, it's very important that you talk. I would suggest talk to a friend, and maybe if that person comes to you, you talk with an adult or someone you trust, right? Because, it's not easy. The other thing that you could do is you could just go off social media for a while, especially if it gets bad, right? MANWAR's campaign, is awesome because they will have hopefully people for you to phone and talk to too, because not everybody knows. Some people get scared and they'll clam up. And if you see that quiet person in the classroom, maybe they're being bullied. You don't know. So all I can tell you as a young woman here in Canada, you need to stand up for other people, be proud, be loud. It's okay. And it's okay to tell people this isn't right. Stop doing it, or to stand up to somebody that you know is doing it, right? Because if you find out a friend's doing that, you need to call them out. It might not be a very comfortable place to be. You may not be the most popular person in the room, but you know what? Don't let your friends have this kind of behavior either, okay? Because you're strong, beautiful girls, and you will make sure you make a difference in this world. And I've always been the kid that had the big mouth, you guys, but it's okay. It's okay to speak out, and it's okay to tell people. So good on you, and just do the best you can do in your life. Be the best version of yourself, okay? And always remember, just be kind. Treat people like you want to be treated, right? And some people, sometimes their intentions aren't. The other thing I want to just say is the other people, sometimes we put more into what they've said as well. So it's okay to call people out and say, what did you mean by saying this? So we might think it means one thing, but they didn't expect it to mean that thing. So especially with computers, that's a really bad thing, because you'll hear people say, well, what did they mean by that text? Like, because they feel it has emotion attached. Some people don't have that emotion. So
So Kerry, do you mean um, clarifying it? What exactly you mean by?
correct. And that's okay too. It's
Yeah.
okay to call people out on what they've said. So, and I've even said to people, you said this to me. This is the way you've made me feel. Was that what you were trying to do? Because sometimes they'll go, no, I didn't even know that's what you felt. So, it's not always a matter of, sometimes we put more, I want to say we put more emotion into what the words are when the person didn't intend for it to come across that way. So sometimes we misinterpret information. That's the best way to put it. So make sure, you're, and say that to your friends if they've done it. Is this what you meant to say? Because that's what it sounded like. And some people will go, oh no, I didn't mean that. So, it's okay to ask questions. Okay?
Exactly. Excellent. You guys have any questions for Kerry?
No,
No,
thank you.
thank you for your great.
No, thank you.
You're very welcome, ladies.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kerry, for your insights. We have come to the end of our episode here. I would like to thank our participants, Shanza, Afza, and Faiza. And I also want to really thank Kerry Rook for being today's guest and taking time out from your busy schedule for us.
Anytime. I
Thank,
wish the best for all of you lovely ladies.
Thank
thank
you.
you
Thank
again,
you.
everybody. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Before we wrap up, I would like to remind our listeners that there are several resources available to help individuals dealing with bullying. The Government of Alberta has bullying helpline which provides support and advice to those experiencing bullying. The helpline can be reached at 1-888-456-2323. Bullying is a violation of human rights. Under no circumstances is bullying acceptable. As a community, we have a shared responsibility to stand against bullying and refuse to be a bystander. Thank you for joining in conversation with MANWAR Khan, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.